Hello, welcome to a very special edition of the Donut Bag. This is basically called my Le'Veon Bell rant, and I am so fired up about what happened today that I just had to get some things off my chest. So, this is my little edition of the very abbreviated podcast. So, let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. If you haven't heard or don't know the drama surrounding this idiot, let's recap. He has been operating under the franchise tag for the past couple years because they could not agree to a long-term contract. So they couldn't agree to a long-term contract last year. They placed him on they placed a franchise tag on him, and he played for $12 million. He skipped training camp last year, showed up on Labor Day right before Week 1, and played Week 1, and he started out slow, but still had a pretty good season. So this offseason, they tried to negotiate a contract, just like last year. Didn't work out. And they put the franchise tag on him again, and this year he was set to make $14.5 million. And he skipped training camp again because he wanted to preserve his body or some crap like that. So it was expected that he would show up on Labor Day, just like last year, and be ready for Week 1 against the Browns. Well, he didn't show up Labor Day. Then he didn't show up today, and today was apparently the last day he could show up before he could play. So this was, I think, unexpected for the Steelers. Up until Monday, and up until today, really, I don't want to say I sided with him, but I understood what he was trying to do. If he believes that he is worth something and worth getting a lot of money, and it didn't work out with the Steelers, then so be it. I thought there was really no bad guy in this situation. The Steelers made a pretty good offer. He didn't think that was good enough. He thought that he should make more. Okay, so be it. He took a gamble on himself last year and just took a one-year deal, and it paid off. And it looked like he was going to take a gamble on himself this year and operate under a one-year contract and then be a free agent, and that's it. So can't blame a person for trying to make as much money as possible. But if he skips this game, and every game he skips, he is going to forfeit a paycheck of $852,941. He could skip up to 10 games and still be considered a free agent for next year. So in theory, he could forfeit $8.5 million. How the hell are you trying to maximize your earnings by giving up $8.5 million? That is ridiculous. That's one tiny annoyance that I have with this. But to me, he crossed the line, and this is what pisses me off so much. He basically turned on his teammates, abandoned his teammates, whatever you want to call it. He basically turned his back on the team by not showing up. And if he doesn't show up for another 10 weeks, then that's really turning his back on the team. Let me read some of the quotes from the Steelers today. Cam Hayward said, "Either you get on the bus or not, and if Le'Veon Bell doesn't appear to want on that bus, quote, that's his loss. We're trying to get wins." Okay. Guard Ramon Foster said, "What do you do? Here's a guy who doesn't give a damn. I guess so we'll treat it as such. I just hate it's come to this." Jeremy Fowler from ESPN said, "One veteran Steeler told me players waited a day to criticize Bell to give him a chance to come on Wednesday, but, quote, he effed us." David DeCastro said, quote, just sit out the whole year then. And Marquise Pouncey said, quote, honestly, it's a little selfish. I'm kind of pissed right now. It sucks that he's not here. We'll move on as a team. It doesn't look like he'll be in the game plan at this point. Connor looks great. We'll worry about him week 2. So I keep hearing that I've personally never heard of this where teammates just turn on one of their own like this. Usually when there's a contract dispute, they pretty much just, leave it alone. But here, Bell is just flat out being selfish and putting himself above the team. So it feels like the players feel betrayed. I, as a Steeler fan, feel betrayed and hurt. And well, let me mention what Le'Veon Bell's agent said. He basically said that he's out to preserve his body for next year's free agency, and paraphrase, he will be there when he gets there. And, quote, Le'Veon is concerned about the rest of his NFL career. Le'Veon is concerned about his family, his livelihood. Yeah, I'm really concerned. The guy's only made $12 million last year, so I don't know. He's going to have to eat from the dollar menu at McDonald's or something. Another quote from his agent. Again, if memory serves me, I said Le'Veon had every intention to make this the best season of his career. That has not changed. That's his intention, to make this the best statistical season of his career. Yeah, you miss half the year, you're going to have great stats, you jackass. So, why this bothers me so much is because it basically exposes sports. It basically it disproves a belief we have, this fairy tale notion that we have about sports. We happen to think, as sports fans, in any team sport, any professional team sport, that the players are so happy to play for our team that it's all about winning. It's all about their teammates. It's all about winning for the good fans of the city, and yay and rah rah. And in reality, that's a bunch of BS. They're not playing for their teammates. They're not playing for the city or the coach or the owner. They're just out there for themselves. And this just exposes that. It's just a business. Yeah, it's just a business, and we're kind of stupid for thinking that it's basically a fairy tale notion that they just want to win for the great fans of the city. Yeah, right. So, what do the Steelers do going forward? How are they going to do? How is this going to affect him? If he misses 10 games, how many games are they going to lose because this jackass didn't decides not to show up? I don't know. Their main option is James Conner. I can't objectively evaluate James Conner because I love the guy so much. I love him at Pitt. I love his story that he overcame cancer. He just seems like such a great person. And so far he's looked pretty good in training camp. So this is his second year, and he's looked sharp so far. So I don't expect him to be as good as Le'Veon Bell, but I think he'll be pretty good. And the team definitely seems to feel that way too. So maybe the Steelers will be okay. They also have pretty good depth behind Connor with Stephen Ridley and the draft pick Samuels. So they could be okay, and it is a good offense. They still have Ben, they still have Antonio Brown, they still have Juju. So they'll probably be okay. Another thing about this, at least for the short term, I got bad news for you, Cleveland. There is no way you're winning this game on Sunday now. I've heard two things about how they'll react. One of them is, oh, they're rattled now. They're not focused. They're rattled on this. I don't think that's the case at all. They I think this just makes them more together and more focused because they're going to be out to show that they don't need Le'Veon Bell. They're probably going to try to block like hell for James Conner and prove that they don't need Le'Veon Bell at all. So I expect a good game from the Steelers offense. I think they'll win. I was a little up in the air before all this happened, but I think they'll be fine, and I think they're going to take out their frustration on Cleveland. Now, what do you do about whenever this jackass decides to come back? Let's say he does sit out 10 days and comes back week 11 or week 12 or whatever they're saying. How do you go from them trashing, and you know Le'Veon Bell is going to respond and it's going to be nasty, and they're just going to exchange unpleasantries for a while, and this drama is going to continue week after week. So how does he come back to the locker room? How does he come back to the team that he basically abandoned, that he turned his back on to, I don't even know what the hell he's doing, basically to preserve his body or some whatever crap that is. So how does that all happen? I don't know. I have bad thoughts about what I hope happens to him that aren't very nice. I kind of hope he does get hurt, but that's not very nice. So there was some. I asked social media for some reaction. Rebecca Watley said, rescind the tag. His teammates have had enough. This should be the end. There's really no option. People say rescind the franchise tag or release him or trade him or something like that. None of that is going to happen, and none of that can happen. I think Le'Veon Bell would love to be traded at this point. But that's not going to happen, and maybe that's not going to happen just because he wants it to happen. You think the Steelers are going to let him do whatever he wants or give in to him in any way, shape, or form? Hell no. So, I mean, really, the Steelers have no option. There's no team out there that has, well, maybe there is a team that has $14.5 million in cap space, but there's no way that the Steelers are just going to, if they release him or if they rescind the tag, that means he could sign with anybody. Guess who he'll probably sign with? Probably New England, just like James Harrison did. Scott Kurasad says, Bell has till November 13th to report, or he loses out on the money, so we'll definitely see him. The question is when. If I were to guess, I would say if he has until November the 13th to report, that's probably exactly when he'll report. Probably at the last possible minute, because he is a jackass. Margie Friedel says, they need to drop his rear end. I don't care how good he is. He has no concern for the team. I agree he has no concern for the team. Dropping him or trading him is not an option. And really, the main problem here, he's technically not doing anything wrong. It's a ridiculous system. This franchise tag crap is really stupid, and the NFL Players Association are a bunch of idiots for agreeing to this system. Every league has some form of free agency, but no other league except for football has this franchise tag thing where they say, "Oh, your contract ran out. Well, we'll just stick a tag on you, and you can't go anywhere for a year or two, or technically even 3. If even technically the Steelers could franchise him again, but they would be like 17 or 20 million or something stupid like that." So anyway, that's my thoughts. I was just so angry that I had to get this off my chest. So thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, hit me up on Twitter. You know where I'm at. All right. Thanks. Bye.